morning, Facebook Live. How's it going? It's Doug Reynolds here, your Sacramento area realtor. And this morning, I want to chat about appraisals. Just kind of quick little talk about what they are and give you some information for both sellers and buyers kind of on the appraisal process. So appraisals, when a buyer is going to purchase a contract and you get into escrow, a lot of the time that buyer needs to get a loan and they need to get a mortgage on the property. And so part of that process is the lender, the bank that's going to give them money, is going to require an appraisal to be done on the property. And so an appraisal is ordered at the beginning of the escrow process. And nowadays there's a lot of buffer between kind of the buyer, their lender, and the actual appraiser. Nowadays there's what's called an AMC, Appraisal Management Company. So when escrow opens and you start the process, that lender contacts their AMC, or just an AMC, an appraisal management company. So lenders over here, they call the AMC, say, hey AMC, we need an appraisal. Please have one done on 123 Main Street. This AMC then looks up what appraisers they have available in their pool, and they call an appraiser over here and say, hey, I need you, appraiser, to go to 123 Main Street and do an appraisal. So there's a lot of degrees of separation now between the actual appraiser and the lender as well as the buyer. So no longer is it anything like a particular lender's appraiser. They don't have appraisers in their pockets anymore or anything like that. So that's kind of how that works. Now, getting to the actual appraisal, if you are a seller, you're selling your house, or you're going to be selling your house, in my opinion, it is absolutely crucial that your agent be the point of contact for the appraiser, and they do their job by meeting the appraiser out at the property. I believe that is one of the major aspects of my job when I'm on the listing side. I'm representing the seller. So I tell that lender, hey, when you order the appraisal, put me as the point of contact. A couple days later, an appraiser gets the order. They call me. They introduce themselves. They say, hey, like to get into the house. And we figure out a time that works for both myself and the appraiser. And what I do is I get there early. I turn on all the lights. I open all the blinds. So it's just nice, bright, it looks good and everything. Obviously, if my clients are living in the house, I have them clean up, pick up, have the house show well. You want to put your best foot forward for an appraiser, definitely. And then I meet them out there, chat with them for a bit, answer any questions they might have. So if you don't, as a listing agent, meet an appraiser out there and they just go by themselves, they're probably going to have to make a couple of assumptions that if you had been there, that you would have been able to answer the questions. One reason I talk about this today is I'm in the middle of an escrow right now, and I'm representing the buyer, and it's a vacant house, and the listing agent did not choose to go and meet the appraiser, and the appraiser had to kind of make a couple of assumptions about a few things, and they actually flagged something on the property. They called something out. They're requiring something to be fixed. That is very uncommon. And I truly believe that if the listing agent had gone out there and met the appraiser, they would have been able to have talked about it and at minimum, at least done some explanation to the listing agent where they would have understood the reason why and understood that it was just something small, or at best could have probably talked about it and probably not even had it flagged at all, to be honest with you. A lot of stuff with appraisals is very gray. There's a very gray area with calling out certain things at properties, using certain comps, making certain adjustments. It is an art form. It's not an exact science. And one appraiser is going to look at a property one way compared to another appraiser. So part of the reason going out there, you're not trying to manipulate the process or anything like that. You're just trying to do your job to help things along as best as possible when you're representing your seller. So you answer any of their questions, as well as I always bring a printout of some solid comps that are going to help that property, appraise for that value as well. And I pick what I believe to be good comps, not ridiculous ones that are 4 miles away and have 7,000 square feet more than my property or anything like that. And I just say, hey, I'm sure you're really good at your job. You probably do a lot of great research. Just wanted to provide you with what I, kind of saw in the market and what I think. They'll usually take it, they'll look at it, they'll say thank you. And a lot of times they end up using a number of those comps, but they probably would have been using them anyways. But I'm doing what I can for my seller just to help the process along. If you're a buyer, you don't have as much control. You're not quite the gatekeeper in the process because it's not your house. But as a buyer's agent, I try to make sure that the listing agent is going to be meeting the appraiser out there. And I actually offer to meet the appraiser out there if they're unwilling or unable to do so. I just think it's something that's really important. Additionally, if you're a buyer, a lot of times they might flag something on the property, and that could be something that you really didn't care about, didn't want to have done, and that can kind of hurt your negotiation as far as other things that you're trying to negotiate to have fixed or repaired during the process. That is now going to be a requirement by the lender to be taken care of, and so you might have to drop some things off of your list because you got to ask the seller to, hey, this got flagged by the appraiser or whatever. So that's just kind of a quick little rundown on the appraisal process. Obviously, after going out to the house, the appraiser goes back, they do a full-blown, really large report comparing the property to what comps have sold recently, what's pending, what's active, and they kind of do an analysis and then spit out what they feel to be, market value for the property and everything like that. So hope that was helpful. Bottom line, really, if you're a seller, you gotta have an agent that's doing their job and is going to be meeting the appraiser out at the property. It's absolutely crucial. It's one of the most important steps when you're representing a seller, in my opinion. I don't care if the house is vacant or not. Listing agents should be doing their job meeting the appraiser. It's a pretty easy thing, and it typically helps things be a little bit smoother throughout the process. So hope that was helpful. Hope everyone's having a great day. Feel free to call, email, text me if you ever got any real estate questions. Check out my website, realestatewithdoug.com. Great info there. If you like this video or you know someone that maybe is thinking about buying or selling soon, if you could just share this video with them, give it a thumbs up or something, I'd really appreciate it. Hope everyone's doing well. I'll talk to you soon, and clear skies.